Alright, Shalom. Shalom. This is your brother Issachar coming back at you with another lesson. First and foremost, to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ukwak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and the 144,000 scattered across the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you. Alright, in today's lesson, we're going to go into Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5. Alright, that, these, the heathen are going to see, our enemies are going to see the strangeness of the elect salvation. You see, so this is something that we're about to see out here. Is our enemies, okay, the Edomites and the heathens. Alright, it don't matter how you slice it. They are going to of course they're gonna hate, of course they're gonna be jealous, but they're gonna see the strangeness of the elect salvation. You see? And something just to add to that, something just to add that, that these other groups are teaching, these false Israelite groups, that, the heathen, that's, that salvation is for them. All right, where are these heathen at? These false Israelite prophets are teaching this this blasphemy, this madness. But where is their first of all, in the scriptures, it doesn't say that at all. The Lord is only for Israel. Okay, and just look around. Just take a look around, you guys. Brothers and sisters, Akim Akwa, just look around. Okay, where's all the heathen, all right, standing up for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai? Don't worry, we'll wait. Since, that these false Israelite teachers are trying to push that, the salvation is also for the heathen. Where's the heathen standing up for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai? You see? Are there actual, real heathen out there? Are there heathen out there standing up for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai? Putting it on YouTube? Pushing videos and stuff, going hard for the Lord? Let's hear it. Just take a look around. See? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1 on down. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. Right. So that's, let's stop right there, because that's the time that we're in right now. Okay. Let's get it again from the top. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1 on down. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness. Okay, and that's what's happening right now, okay? Because the elect, are being bold as lions. Okay, the righteous are bold and courageous as lions. Because they're going to stand up to do the right thing. They're going to defend, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You see? And that's why, I had, give you guys that example, because where around the world is the heathen, since, these false Israelite teachers out there, want to, promote that and teach that false claiming that, that, that the heathens can receive salvation too. All right, where are these heathens? Okay, where are these heathens around the globe, standing up for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Go ahead, show us. Because first of all, you always go to the scriptures. Okay, it's not scriptural. Second of all, where's your proof at? Okay, where are these heathen at? Standing up for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Let's see it, You see? Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as has afflicted him. Right, because the elect, are standing in great boldness, going out there to the highways and byways, out there every week, pushing these videos, condemning the wicked, and we're teaching the Israelites who they are, before the face of such as have afflicted him. Right, because the elect do not care what our enemies say. They say, oh yeah, we're going to take down your channel, we're going to fire you from your jobs or whatever, oh, we're not going to invite you to barbecues no more. Hey, we can give a shit. Okay, Lord willing, I'm part of the hopeful elect, but the hopeful elect could care less what our enemies say, before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. Yeah, because our enemies see us as, fools and madness, people of insignificant, but that's all right. They can't touch, they can't match our power. They can't touch our power. You see, that's all right. Verse 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. Right, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all they look for. Right, verse 2, when they see it. Okay, because right now these elites are in fear. Something that, I share with you guys a lot. Although our enemies, talk crap and, talk trash, they are in fear. Because they know that, especially the top elites, they know that, when the Israelites, are, back right with their power, that there's nothing that they can do, and this is something that they know. Okay, this is something that they know. So our enemies are in fear because the children of Israel are waking back up. And there's nothing that they can do. They can, hire YouTube moderators, send agents out there, okay, try to shut down brothers' channels, but is it stopping the hopeful elect from waking up? No, they're waking. The hopeful elect are waking up right now, right before our enemies, and the Lord's getting them in order right before our enemies. See, and what can our enemies do? They ain't stopping anything. See? Because it's of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. So they have terrible fear. Alright, the scripture is saying it right here. Okay, so they have terrible fear. This is why they're building underground bunkers. This is why they're building super soldiers and all that. Because they got terrible fear. Because they know just by the prophets being out there, that's a major sign right there that that the heathen are going down, and they know that, so they're troubled with terrible fear. All right, terrible fear. So not just like a little bit, like, oh, they're a little worried. No, they got terrible fear because they know, oh shit, oh shoot, when the prophets are the true prophets are out there, and the Lord has the true prophets all around the world. You see, so our enemies, they're in terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. Right. So the strangeness, because it's gonna be strange. It's a mystery, because not everybody on this planet believes that the Lord looks like a so-called black man and he's coming back with spaceships. You see. So that's gonna be a very strange thing out here. uh, of his salvation, the elect. Okay, not the world. Okay, not all Israel, but the elect. So far beyond all they look for. See that? So it's gonna be beyond. All right, and this is why something too that we can only tell you too, from what the Lord tells us through these scriptures, but it's gonna come on, like look at the first Exodus, when the Lord gave Moses spiritual power, and Moses, split the Red Sea, and we crossed right there the Gulf of Suez. I mean, you gotta imagine that, I mean, you gotta imagine, man, what kind of day that was like. Can you imagine now? Now there's 144,000 Moseses. Okay, they're called the House of David. All right, the 144,000. See, and they're scattered. There's a few that went back to the spiritual realm. Right now that are resting, but the majority of them are here walking the planet Earth right now. So, and can you imagine? Back then, in ancient Egypt, we only had to deal with the Pharaoh. Right there in ancient Egypt. Now our enemies, are ruling this whole planet. So can you imagine the miracles and the stuff that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is gonna do to defend, and to destroy our enemies? I mean, now look at our enemies got jets and teams and militaries and tanks, missiles, lasers in space. So can you imagine androids? So can you imagine the miracles now? You gotta really think. You gotta really think about that. You see, because look what the Lord did to destroy Pharaoh and our enemies. Imagine what the Lord's gonna do to destroy Esau and all these heathen worldwide. And underground. Out there in outer space in their space stations. Because all the heathen, it don't matter where you're at. Because some of you guys are out there in your space station. You have your space rangers. All right, they're about to get smashed. You have militaries up here. Okay, you have militias up here. All right, then on the surface, and then you have underneath the ground, and even underneath the ocean, you have like bases and stuff, and the Lord's gonna get every last one of you. So it don't matter where you're at. You're in an underground city, underground bunker. The Lord is gonna hunt you down. Verse 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. So, terrible fear. So right there, this is how we know. We don't gotta, assume and be like, oh man, you imagine what, our enemies are thinking. They got trouble. They got terrible fear. Because they know, like, shit, Because no matter, you gotta really think about it, Because our enemies are in fear. Because they're like, damn, they're imagine trying to stop something, trying to kill something and they can't. You're telling me they're not afraid? But all these teams out here, all these agents, and they can't stop it? They're like, damn. Yeah, they can lie, talk trash, all they want, but you can't stop it. Imagine. So you tell me they don't got terrible fear? They're in great fear. Our enemies are tripping. But that's good for them, And all we gotta do is watch. That's all right, And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. Right. Because the whole world's not ready to see. So-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans get beamed up into the so-called UFOs. The so-called UAPs. See? So far beyond all they look for. Because it's gonna be over the top. Verse 3, and they repenting and groaning for anguish. See? Groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, in a proverb of reproach. See, because our enemies right now, the copper tops, the top elites, they know. Okay, the top elites, they know who we are, but like the lower level, like copper tops and stuff like that, you know, that's why they laugh at this. Like, yeah, right. You know, you guys are the Israelites. No, no way. You know, see. So this is why when the elect start to receive spiritual power, miracles, divine intervention, okay, you know, uh, our heathen are going, the the heathen are going to, be like, nah, no way, anybody but them. How? The so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans? Nah, they're the children of Israel. Like, nah, no way, anybody but them. But yep, it's us. You see? Remember, our enemies can talk trash all they want. Remember, the Israelites, you guys are the Hebrew Israelites, and there's nothing that our enemies can do to change it. Yeah, they can hate, you know, you see, but what can they do? They can't change it. We're the Lord's children, and that's that. They can hate all they want. Remember that. They could team up, get mad. It ain't gonna change a damn thing. That's the beautiful part. Remember, from this point on, it don't matter what our enemies do. They ain't gonna change a damn thing. You know. And you guys gotta remember that out there. So of course our enemies are gonna be mad. Because they're always used to having it their way. Not this time no more, Travis. You know. You Edomites and heathens are going into slavery. Oh yeah, head first, baby. You see? Verse 4, we fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. See, because that's how they look at us, the Hebrew Israelites. You see? The 2/3, yeah, you guys are going to feel the fire because you guys are like, P. Diddy, LeBron James, Beyonce. You guys are sellouts. You guys are witches and warlocks right now. You see? And if you guys don't repent, the Lord's going to destroy you. Huh? See? So this is why our enemies right now, they're like, oh man, like, nah, no way. Like, they're going to see salvation? Nah, no way, Verse 5, how is he numbered among the children of the Most High? Right, see? Because they're like, nah, no way. Like, they're the children of Israel? Like, nah. Like, yep, that's right. And his lot is among the saints. So the saints is talking about the Israelites. Okay, because a lot of you out there think that the saints, but this is because this is what our enemies have lied to the world, and 'cause a lot of people think that when they hear that, oh, hey, that person's a saint, like, hey, I'm not a saint because I'm not that, I'm not perfect, like, like I'm not like innocent, it doesn't mean that. Okay, the word saint, that refers to us, the Israelites, so a lot of you guys, you guys gotta come out of that. All right. And it takes time, because in this truth, it's a journey, it's a process. So you gotta be patient, and you have to, you have to unlearn what you learned, from our enemies. But that's all right, the Spirit of the Lord is gonna reveal all things, and if you're part of the hopeful elect, you're going to, humble down, and you're going to, the Lord's going to sup with you, and you'll receive, this information. You see? Verse 6, therefore have we erred the way of the truth. Okay, have we erred the way of the truth? Yeah, because our enemies are going to know that, damn, man, the apostles and elders on down, GMS, and the others that are teaching, in the correct doctrine of Yahweh Shem Shai, damn, they have the truth. Because this is the thing, the whole world is going to know who has the truth, because it's going to be plain in that day. Remember Isaiah chapter 66, verse 14, because it's going to be clear who the Lord's with and who the Lord's not with. Just like the time of ancient Egypt, it was known right there that the Lord was with Israel and was dealing with Moses. It was clear as clear. No one had to scratch their head and say, oh man, nah. So in this time, it's going to be clear who the Lord's with. Remember, because the angels are out here, and remember, there's going to be divine intervention and miracles, spiritual power, So it's it's gonna be clear out here who the Lord's with. See? Verse 6. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 6. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness has not shined unto us. See? And the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. Right. Because the Lord's not dealing with the heathen, and you guys are going to find that out. See? Although right now the heathen, our enemies, some may be hurt, some may be mad, you know? But hey, it's all right. But that don't mean that the Lord's with you. It's not going to change a damn thing. Yeah, I understand, our enemies feel a certain type of way. That's fine, but that don't mean that your opinion makes it right. Because facts are facts, baby. You see? Verse 7, we wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness. See, this is our enemies, because our enemies are going to know, like, damn, the Lord's not with us. See, they're going to know that. Yahweh Shem Yahushai is not with the heathen. Our enemies are going to know this, because the Lord's going to start smoking them. Facts. And the lasers are going to start shooting laser beams out those spaceships. Yeah. So remember, this is something that, hey, remember, if somebody can't get it, just move on. But that's something that I just wanted to share with you guys, right? Because like these phony false pastors and false preachers, are pushing, that salvation's for the heathen, show us in the scriptures. All right. Not only that, all right, show us, let's take a look around the world. Where are the heathen standing up for Yahweh Shem Yahushai? Don't worry, we'll wait. Let's see. Where's your proof at? See, because are the heathen right now standing up for Yahweh Shem Yahushai? No. You see? So what what is this blasphemy and madness that that these false Israelite groups are speaking? They're just lies, ladies and gentlemen. They're lies, brothers and sisters. You see? So this is why we're just pointing something out. Yep. Verse 7, we wearied our life in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we have not known it. Right. Because the majority of this planet is expecting a so-called white man to come back. Okay, a so-called white savior to come back, and save everybody. Everybody. And that's completely false and incorrect. That's not according to scripture. That's not scriptural at all. You see? So this is why, our enemies right now, yeah, they're they're all, they're proud and puffed up. That's okay. Because once they start to see it, that damn, the Lord's truly not with us. Hey, they're going to know, because remember, the Lord is going to shoot laser beams at them. And once the Lord gets here, he's going to put a lot of people to death. And people are going to know, like, well, because you're going to know who the Lord's with and who the Lord's not with. Because the Lord's he's either going to save you or he's going to destroy you. You see that? Except, those very few heathens, the elites, that, the Lord is going to preserve. All right? Just so they could be the first crops into slavery. Yep. Verse 8. Check it out. What hath pride profited us? Right, because right now, beginning with America, what do they say? Oh, I'm a proud American. All right, we're going to see how proud you are once Yahweh and the angels get here. You see? Huh? You damn simpleton. See, because they're going to know, like, damn, because one thing that the Lord hates pride. Okay, and like you know, uh, oh, and that's something that hey, that's something that happened in the news. That uh, that one teacher, he's uh, Daniela, Daniela. Okay, he recognizes now that Cornelius is an Israelite. You see, and Apostle Ramla was talking about that, and man, it was beautifully said, because he's right. He's like, hey, because if you just, if you can, you gotta just put your pride down, and you gotta pray to the Lord, and the Lord will, if you're part of the hopeful elect, He'll give you the correct answer. You see, so but you gotta put that pride down, baby. You know, you see, what has pride profited us, especially our enemies? Because they're proud and puffed up. You see, like Elon Musk and them, and there's elites behind the scenes that people don't even know about. Because remember, they're building up an army of robots. Okay, an army of androids. All right. Remember, our enemies are very proud and puffed up right now. You see? Verse 8, what hath pride profited us? Or what good have riches with our vaunting brought us? Right. Because remember, riches profited not in the day of the Lord's wrath. So it don't matter. Because a lot of people think, oh, well, I'm rich, so I'll be fine. Hey, it don't matter if you're rich. That's not going to change anything. The Lord and the angels don't give a damn how much money you got. If you're not part of the hopeful elect, okay, the Lord and the angels and the 144,000 are about to slay you out here. See? Don't give a damn how many FRNs you got. You see? Huh? Because pride is abomination before Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And before pride goeth destruction. Verse 9, all those things are passed away like a shadow, and as a post that paceth by. We can stop right there. Let's go to follow me now to Saint Matthew. So Matthew chapter 24, and let's go on down to the verse 30, verse 31. And then shall appear, verse 30, St. Matthew chapter 24, verse 30 and 31, and then shall appear. Okay, and then, when? In the middle of World War III. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. So in the middle of World War III, remember, okay, we're waiting for two major prophecies to be fulfilled. World War III to be in full bloom, okay, and then, that chip, the RFID chip has to be made mandatory. Okay, remember, the RFID microchip is the MOTB. Make no mistake. Remember, that has to happen first before the Lord arrives. All right? But that's right here. You can clearly see that, because you have damn, what's those everything's going digital. The digital ID is coming in, and it's all leading to the RFID microchip, baby. That's right. Remember, those you out there, hey, remember, rejoice, because the Lord's making all this happen. He's making our enemies move like this, so when our enemies are making moves and are gonna cut the word off, famine of the word, when we can't teach on the internet no more, good. Remember that the faster our devils make their move, the faster they go down. Remember, they're in quicksand from here on out. So the more they do, hey, the faster we get out of here. So look forward to this stuff, Akim and Aqua, of the hopeful elect. Look forward to that. Because our enemies think like, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Hey, fuck yeah, even better. Bring it on. hey, shut this bitch down. See? Meaning the society. Shut this bad boy down. Hey, shut this bad boy down. Because the Lord said that he's going to feed his elect. Facts. That's something about the hopeful elect. The hopeful elect don't need Esau. Remember, the Lord's going to feed the hopeful elect. Remember that. Verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. So who is the Son of Man? Yahweh Shai. Okay, he's the son of Yahweh in heaven, because the Lord's going to come in through a portal. Something this world calls a wormhole. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. See that? Because everyone's going to know, like, shit. What the hell? A so-called black man coming in a spaceship? Damn, look at these mighty angels. What the hell? They're hitting us with laser beams. They're zapping people to powder. See? So, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. So those of you that are not right with the Lord, woe unto thee. And they shall see the Son of Man, Yahweh Shai, coming in the clouds, the spaceships, so-called UFOs, of heaven, with power and great glory. Verse 31, and he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together, okay, his elect. So not the world, not all Israel. See? From the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So let's let's get that one precept. So right there, the Lord is going to gather, okay? The Lord is going to gather, all right, all the, the Lord is going to gather all the, all the elect from the four corners of the earth. It don't matter where you're at. It don't matter where you're at. There we go. Okay, right here. Oh, this is the one. This is Romans chapter 9. Okay. Romans chapter 9 verse 6. Bear with me. Let me see. Okay, yeah, so Romans chapter 9 verse 6 and 7. Not as though the word of the Most High Yahweh hath taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. Right. So just because right now you got Israelites waking up to the fact that they're Israelites, but that don't mean that you're part of the hopeful elect. You see? So remember that. It's not just about, this is not just the Israelite hangout, You see? So this is something that you guys got to be very aware of. Because look at, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. Right, because the Lord is looking at you 2/3 right now like you're brute beasts, as your heathens. You guys are right now enemies of the Lord. Yep, you guys are enemies of the Lord, and the Lord is going to lay you down. So just because you're Israelite doesn't mean that you're a friend of the Lord. Remember that you got to be part of the elect. The 2/3 are going to be put down. Are going to be put down right alongside what these Edomites and these goofy heathen. And those are facts. You see? Verse 7. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac, okay, and that's Yahweh Shai in the reincarnation, okay, shall thy seed be called. Right. And our forefather is Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. See, and the 12 tribes, we go back to the 12 sons of Jacob. So since we're here in Romans, let's let's go to Romans 11. Romans 11:7. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it. See, the elect hath obtained it, because the elect have salvation, and the rest were blinded. So this is why not all Israel can get it. You know, because a lot of people are like, man, well, shit, why the Lord's not taking all Israel this time? You mean to tell me the Lord's not going to take all the children of Israel? Yep, that's exactly what we're telling you. And bear with me, I'm just going to grab a few more scriptures here. Here we go. That I had written down. Let me see here. Okay. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 65, verse 22. Okay, this is all, talking about the elect. Right here, Isaiah chapter 65, verse 22. They shall not build, and another inhabit. They shall not plant, and another eat. For as the days of a tree are the days of my people, and mine elect. See, and mine elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands. Right, because remember, all right, in the beginning, Yahushai, the angels, and the 144,000, the elect, created the planet Earth. Everything that you see, okay, you mortals, remember the animals, all the creatures in the ocean, everything, okay, all the waters, the dry land, okay, the stars, the moon, the sun. All right, yeah, see that? And mine elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands, because the elect, the 144,000, created this planet Earth, along with the angels and Yahushai. See, so remember, the 144,000, they're not ordinary men. They go way back with the Lord before the planet Earth was even established. Right here. Check this out. Isaiah chapter 42, verse 1. Behold, my servant, okay, whom I uphold, my elect. See? So, hey, not all Israel. The elect, in whom my soul delighteth. See? So the Lord delights in his elect. Why? Because remember, brothers and sisters, Akim Akwat, the elect are going to be loyal to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. They're going to make the adjustments. They're going to do whatever they got to do to please the Lord. And I have put my spirit upon him. See? And he shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles. See? Because the Lord put his spirit on the true prophets. This is why the true prophets are, breaking it down, to the world, telling you guys exactly what it is. We're not out here saying, oh yeah, oh well, this is my opinion. No, we're telling you exactly what the Lord's saying here. We can give a damn about, people's feelings or emotions. We're going to tell you exactly what it is. You see? All right, that's it right there. That was the point. So with that, You know, the world is about to see, you know, the strangeness of the hopeful elect salvation. So with that, on your feet, soldier, stay prayed up. Shalom.